Estate Raw and Uncut, episode 27. I'm Byron Lazine, joined as always by Tim Bray, the one show in real estate where the facts are real, no realtor fluff, no media agendas, no BS. We're going to bring it to you real every single week. Subscribe up if you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't already. If you're watching on Facebook, great. Wherever you're watching, please comment, interact. We love that stuff. We appreciate your views. And today we want to recap a little bit about what we discussed in episode 26. We nailed it a couple days early. How do we do that?
Hit it head on. It's a little different than
a little Nostradamus action.
Crazy, huh?
You know?
I think we beat it by 3 days.
Yeah.
But NRT basically rolled out a new portal, which was similar to what we were talking about.
Yeah. Go back and check out 26.
Homesforsale.com.
Yes.
I believe. And it is live. It's up. Now, what is NRT? And who is NRT?
Yeah, they're part of Realogy.
They are. It's Caldwell Banker, Corcoran, Sotheby's, Zip Realty, and City Habitats. Yep. And just so you know, 2013 stats, they closed $151 billion. They've got 320,000 sales associates, 42,000 offices, and 710 employees. So it is a monster.
Yeah.
And there are a couple things that were neat about this. First, when I saw it, I immediately called you and said, "Holy smokes, we nailed it!"
That was pretty funny.
Then I started to read about it.
Yeah.
And when I started to read about it, all of a sudden I'm looking at it, and it's not necessarily what I envisioned to be for the agents.
Yeah.
I think what's happened out here is these brokers, no matter who they are, they're seeing that these third parties are selling leads to the agents, and they're feeling like they're missing out.
Right. Of course.
If you utilize this site now, they're going to charge the agent 35%.
It's not just the portals that are going to be created on the brokerage side to try to siphon off some money on the agents. It's already happening, because if you look at what it costs to pay for advertising on Zillow, going back to last week's discussion, Zillow and Trulia, there are a ton of agents that have been paying for advertising on these two platforms. And when you break it down, you start looking at what chunk of your commission are you giving up every time you're advertising on these platforms. And it's get your hand out of my pocket, man.
How does that feel when I put my hand in your pocket?
That did not feel too good. But depending on who it is,
it could be. But anytime
you're not attractive enough for that to feel good.
Thank you, I appreciate that. But what if you had $1,000 in there, and I'm reaching in and I just want it.
I got a couple 20s in there.
I've got one of them now.
You do. Yeah, that's what's happening. They're reaching into all the agents' pockets anywhere you want to advertise, online, and it gets 30%, 35%. Or how many calls do you get a week of, "Oh, I can make your calls for you and just take, all I'm going to take is 25% of your deals and pay me $1,500 a month."
So
everybody believes these commissions are so fat and juicy, but they're not looking what's happening underneath.
That's right, and let's go into that. But let's say you've done a really good job of promoting yourself, promoting your name and whatnot. So if I'm some guy living in Juneau, Alaska, and I say, "Holy smokes, Byron Lazine, he's a thoroughbred. I'm going to bet on that guy." So you go out right now, and you're really good at SEO, and you create a landing page for Byron Lazine. So that anytime anybody searches for Byron Lazine, all of a sudden his page comes up. So this guy's a licensed agent as well in the state of Alaska. He can be sending you leads all day long, and you have to pay him a 25% rep.
I got a referral for you. You just send me the 25% because I set up a landing page.
I think it should be illegal to utilize somebody else's name using search optimization. They shouldn't be able to do it.
And these big dogs aren't like the portal that NRT is getting involved with or creating, and Zillow, Trulia. They're not doing that. They're actually paying for agents to advertise on their platform. But there's just so many different ways to cut into the agent. I hear it so often, "Wow, your commissions are so big, 5% on $1 million. Let's break that down real quick, right? So that's $50,000. Sounds incredible, right?
But it's not.
When you just look at it that way, $50,000 for $1 million deal. No. If you're the listing agent, you're giving up half of that to the buyer broker, and for the value that they added in bringing the buyer. So you're down to $25,000.
Well, if you're a good agent, like us in the
Yeah.
top percentage, you're not only relying on your broker to do all your marketing for you.
Right.
As an example, our group, very small group, spent in excess of $50,000 last year.
Right.
On excess marketing.
Correct.
Okay, so now we just broke even. You did a deal. You did $1 million deal.
Yeah, you just broke even. That deal's done. But just on that one specific deal, say it's $25,000. Say you have a split to your broker. That's going to take, I don't know, $5,000-$10,000 of that.
At least.
Now you want specialized advertising. You want to advertise the listing and feature it on Zillow, or you want to pay Facebook ads to boost that listing and into people. You're just cutting, and then at the end of the day, maybe the client wants a little bit of that commission back.
Now you're assuming that you sold it.
Right, if you sold it.
So let's say you have 20 of those and you're dumping. You're running, you're working hard,
Yeah.
but it's percentages.
That's right.
And some of these properties, if they're really unique, and they have a floor plan that may not be functional,
Right.
or maybe it's in a flood zone. Nobody wants to buy a property that's in a flood zone. It needs to go up on piers. Your chances of sale go down, way
right.
down. So you've done all this work, all this marketing, and you don't get paid.
Oh, and did you spend any time?
Holy smokes! Getting up at 2 a.m., going to bed at 10 o'clock.
Right.
I mean, if you were to, I feel like I should go and work at McDonald's.
Right. Well, you're not getting health insurance, right? Because you're a real.
No,
you're
I don't want to go there with
contractor.
us because we're
No.
more successful than the majority.
I agree.
And we do well.
Right.
But we work our tails off.
That's right. And this perception that these commissions are so outrageous is so false. When you look at all the value that a good agent is adding, when you look at where they're actually spending their money, it's multiple places. It's Zillow, it's Trulia, it's print, it's Facebook, it's a ton.
But when you're a client and you're sitting at the closing table and you look at what the attorney is getting, you look at what the closing costs are, and then you see the agent's fee, it just becomes a number.
Right.
And they
It's
forget
just
all
one
of
number.
the value that's been added to actually
right.
get that person to that point.
That's right.
Because a lot of the transactions that go under contract don't close.
That's right.
Our closing ratio is pretty darn good.
But you're right. If you look at the percentage on the actual market, how many of those are closing, it is not good. Really good agents have got to be aware of all these ways they can spend their money and choose the ones that are going to add the most value to their client, whether it's a seller or a buyer. So if you're buying a product, you want to keep your price down, but you want to make sure it adds the most value to get the job done, no matter what it is. And there's a lot of stuff that you have to buy.
How about commercial real estate?
Oh, same thing. You're paying LoopNet. You're paying almost $250 or more bucks per property that you put on LoopNet because there is no MLS for commercial. You're right, a month.
So
You're spending some dough.
It's not as easy as just putting it up and letting it sit there.
You got signage, commercial real estate. You got to usually spend $500 to $1,000 every sign that you put up. There is a lot of money to be spent from the listing side. That being said, you do have to spend money to sell properties.
You're not passionate about this, are you?
No, I am a little bit. Just you have to spend the money. I am full belief in that. You have got to spend money and keep grinding and keep moving, but you got to spend it smart.
You have to be smart, and you
Yeah.
don't. And when somebody's got their hand in your pocket, you're actually what's happening is you're hurting your client.
That's right.
So,
what if your client has their hands in your pocket?
but like you said, it depends on how attractive they are.
All right, guys. Every single Friday, catch us. We've got to go today. We're both running pretty hard. If you're an agent out there watching this, be smart. Use the products that make the most sense to add value to your clients. You're going to have to spend money. Just don't throw it away in big chunks. I like when the chunky ones stick their hands in my...
Okay.
Guys, find me all the time at Byron Lazine. Anywhere, Instagram, I'm doing some great stuff.
T-Bray, SeaportRE.com.
Next Friday, guys. Real estate raw and uncut.